time to dream on it. Come on, let's dream on it. We all gotta start somewhere. So why don't you just dream on it? Do your thing, let's dream on it. It ain't no shame, you can dream on it. Cause we all gotta start somewhere. So why
What they say, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
It's junior year, spring 24 semester, season 3, Dream on Air with DeAndrea feature. Ring all my special guests, thank you for stopping by the show. I really appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at Content by DeAndrea for all the newest episodes. Make sure you check out all my music too. It's Dream on Air with DeAndrea. Thanks for staying tuned. Woo. Hey, I got a new episode just for you. Subscribe to my channel. And this all started as a dream on air, yeah. And now we here. Hey, that's all I back to another episode of Dream on Air with DeAndrea. I am your host, DeAndrea Kid, and I'm so excited to have another episode coming y'all's way. I'm so excited to be embarking on season 3. We back with another episode, and y'all, I got a real heavy hitter in the room with me right now. I don't think y'all understand, man. Now, if you attend PVAMU, I know y'all just seen my girl around campus. I need y'all to give it up for my girl, Chari G.
What's up? I mean, just living life and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for joining us today. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, girl. So Chari, once again, I gave a brief introduction. You're really involved on campus, and you got a hustle, you got a work ethic that I really admire, and that's another reason why I wanted you to join me on the show. But if you could, just give us your backstory, who is Chari G? Where do you come from, and what is it that you do?
I am a junior mass communications student
Woo-hoo.
Here at Chari University.
Super.
I'm from Michigan. I'm from a little city right outside of Detroit called Southfield, and I come from a big family. I come from a strong family. I come from a family full of personalities and the whole nine. Everybody has their own little niche, but we all support each other in what we do. And I'm the youngest, so yeah. And so all my siblings, all my cousins are drastically older than me. They're 26, 27. My brother's 31. So I'm always used to just being around older people, and whatnot. And that's my home. My family is really my foundation. I would say that's my central point in life. I always can call somebody up. But yeah, family is big. God is big, and sure. I think just those two combined have really helped me, and continue to help me kind of figure out who I am and what I'm set on this earth to do. And I'm still young and out here, so we're still on a journey. But just trying to stick on the right path and fulfill what it is that is my purpose. So
yes. And girl, let me point out how you shouted your family out like that. That is so beautiful to me. I come from a big family as well, so I know I get it. And it's so nice just having so many cousins, aunties, brothers, sisters, people that you can just kick it with. And honestly, how was that, just being a baby around the oldest older siblings and family members? How was that?
It was tough, to be honest, in the beginning. When I was younger, elementary school, I used to be crying every week. It felt like every day, just because I always want somebody to play with, or and when I'm in elementary school, the sibling that's closest to me is in 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
So it's she don't want to play with the little 7, 8-year-old. She's trying to she's thinking about high school. She got all these different puberty hitting her. She got all these things going on while I'm over here. I just want somebody to play with. Okay, just give me a hug. They're don't touch me. Yeah. So I remember when I was younger, it was tough. But as I grew older, I really appreciate them a lot, and just for everything that they've done for me, that they've taught me. Because of course I love my mom and I love my parents, but having older siblings is different. They're able to really guide you in a whole different way and be a role model for you. positively and kind of, I don't want to say a negative role model, but I was able to watch their mistakes.
And like, I ain't finna do that.
Okay, keep her saying that, like, oh no, nope, I'm not even gonna try that out. So I just appreciate them for just setting a good example and kind of just being that guidance in my life.
Yeah, shout out to all the big sisters and brothers up in this mug.
Y'all are, even if your younger siblings don't show love right now,
we show love in our heads. We do. But yeah, that's pretty dope. Also, once again, shout out to my big sister, because I can relate definitely to that. Just even, she was like our second mom. Like when mom wasn't around, that was our mom, even though she thought she wasn't, but she was. But anyway, that's what's up. I love the fact that family is one of your foundations. You also mentioned God, girl. I love God too. Ain't he dope? He's so real. He's so real. So even in your journey from moving from Michigan to now being here at PV, you in Texas, and although you may not be there physically with your family, I'm sure you still talk to them while you're in school. But what are some ways that God has helped you even in this journey of becoming who you are, managing your time, figuring out what it is that you want to do? Like what are some ways that you've noticed that God has really, just helped you in your life?
I would say, like it's cool how you mentioned it, like moving here from Michigan. I feel like making that move was crucial to like God being a part of my life, because it's one thing to be constantly reminded of who you are in Christ from your family members and being constantly affirmed, but it's another thing to be thousands of miles away. And I can call them up, but it's different being by yourself in a new environment and having to stand on what you like. Okay, do you really believe this? Or like, are you putting in the work yourself, or are you just calling up mama to remind you of what the scripture says, So I feel like being so far away, almost not isolated, but, just in a different area has allowed me to really understand the impact and importance of having a relationship with God, especially like you said, like finding your purpose and figuring out what you're doing. I feel like God is so crucial to that. Like,
He is.
Being in college, I feel like a lot of times I'm around students who that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? Like, what's my life going to be post grad life? Like, after I cross that stage, where am I going? And I feel like a big answer to that is you got to start with a relationship with God. Got to tap in like ASAP, because you can rely on yourself and, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be fulfilled in
doing it your way.
Exactly.
or chasing it, pursuing it.
Exactly.
And you know what's crazy? I'm glad that you answered the way that you did. And even the reason why I asked you that question is because just recently over the weekend I was talking to God, and I was like, God, I keep like losing people, not losing people as in like death or anything, but like relationships. I've been noticing that I haven't been doing that well in relationships with people, and I was like, God, what is going on? What's wrong with me? Da 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 da. And God He says, I need you to take another look at me. And he helped me to understand that our relationships with other people, they thrive best when we understand God's love for us and when we understand the importance of having him in our lives. I think for so long, even coming up, okay, you mentioned how your family was that foundation and affirming you, and, y'all went to church, y'all knew the word, they taught y'all. I came from that too. But see, my thing is, I was learning more of the religious side of being a believer. And, I was going by works, and I'm like, okay, I gotta pray, I gotta read, and all of this other type of stuff. But God helped me to realize I didn't really have a true revelation of his love. Because he told me, he said, when you have a true revelation of my love, then you can go and you can love others right. You can build relationships with people that are worthy, that are sustainable, because you have an understanding of what love is. And you realize that the people that you're in relationship with, he loves them too, And so that's something that God has been really helping me work on. And is not only just acknowledging his love, right? But also acknowledging that same love that he gives to us, he wants us to give that to other people. And so that's just where I've been in, even in my walk, mentioning, being here in PV. I'm from Dallas, but I'm in PV. I don't got no family out here. So those are one of the moments where I noticed that God has really been, walking with me and holding my hand with, navigating college life. And this is another thing, and I'm glad we're talking about this now, because, college ain't all about doing homework all the time. Like, it's still life. This is still a foundational part of our young adult lives, and God he is important, and he helps us, with anything that we are involved in, not just schoolwork, not just our destiny, but something simple as relationships. And speaking of relationships, Chari, you're really heavily involved in campus. You work with all types of people. Some of the things that you're involved in.
Let's see. Well, of course, I'm a student. I am on the executive board for the student-ran radio station, PVNO Radio. I'm also a member of the NABJ. Let's see. I just joined Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay.
I feel like I be missing things. President of the Michigan Club. I work part-time for Warner Music U, which is like their college representative program with the label Warner Music. I also work part-time for a promotional company out of Atlanta, Grassroots Promotions. That's everything that's coming to my head right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But girl, you heavily involved. And so what is that like, just being in different organizations around different type of people? You mentioned even going back to your family, how there's so many versatile personalities. Like how is it working with others, and how have you learned how to just embrace, being around so many people and going back to that love that God wants us to have for others? Like, how has that knowledge helped you in your interactions with other people?
Well, I truly am a people person. Yeah. Like I said, I grew up around all my older cousins, all my older siblings, and what started off as, me being irritated with them or getting upset as a young child, it grew to me really loving, like you said, all different types of people, all different types of personalities. So that's even how I chose my minor, sociology, the study of human behavior, because it really enamors me. Like, it could be somebody who's not at all related to me. They could dress completely different. They could like completely different music, but I still use, like, 9.9 times out of 10, I'm still usually interested on why that is. Like, why do they do that? Or, why do you like this music? Or why do you dress that way? So I don't know what it is just about people that always, just draws me to them. I'm an extrovert, so I love talking to people. I love learning about people. So being so involved on campus has just further allowed me to kind of embrace that about myself and actually really learn more about myself in that way too, because it's one thing to love interacting with people, but it's another thing to know how to interact with people.
Yes.
So being in all these different organizations or just interacting with students on campus have allowed me to grow my communication skills and really understand how important it is to adapt, because one person you can talk to them a certain way, but another person, they're a little bit more sensitive. That's not gonna work. So you gotta learn how to still be yourself, but make sure that you're treating everyone properly, and intentions and then assumptions and then perspectives, the whole thing, because dealing with people, especially in like business environments, it can be
it can be trying.
It can.
Trying, yeah.
It can. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, because even with Propel, y'all, Chari been putting me on, okay? But I'm a part of the cohort that Apple has with Propel, and we have a class called Discovering Your Superpowers. And I was actually in that class, and I believe that class came at the right time. Like, the information we learned in there just about embracing who we are, noticing your strengths and your weaknesses. What are you good at? What comes to you naturally? Learning those type of things. We took a test. It was like a personalities test that we can learn how, who we are better, I guess, from a more educational standpoint. And after we took the assessments, they had us, just go over our results and figure out what our strengths and our weaknesses were. And our coach was telling us that the reason why we had to take that exercise is because going into the corporate world, or even being an adult in general, you have to learn how to work well with other people. And if you're somebody like Chari and you're involved in a lot of organizations, you're balancing schoolwork, you may be balancing a 9 to 5, you may be a parent, right? You may have children. All of those things involve relationships. And it's so important to make sure that you not only acknowledge that other people are around, but that you learn how to work well with others. And so after taking that course, like, it helped me. I feel like that was one of the nuggets that God kind of placed in my life to kind of, help me interact with other people well. But yeah, I just thought about that when you was talking about, sometimes when you're working with other people, you have to, okay, I'm rambling. Pause. But yeah, so in that course, we learned that working with other people is just a part of life. And it's best to learn how to do that now before, you get older and you look back and you don't really have any relationships of substance. And so, even, if you're on a leadership team, I serve on a few leadership roles. You have to work with other leaders, and then you also have to lead the organization that you're in. Like, that's a lot to manage. But when you do that work and you figure out who you are, what you bring to the table, where you can serve, and how you can better help those that you're serving, you'll be able to manage it, and it'll be enjoyable. So, you mentioned working for Warner U. So, are you a student ambassador for the campus?
I'm a marketing and events representative. That's the exact title.
Okay, so it's not just limited to campuses.
No, so technically my market is the Houston area as a whole. So even though we're not in Houston, we're still the Houston
area.
Market. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah.
So how has that experience been for you working with Warner U, and have you noticed yourself growing since being able to have that position?
I really enjoyed it. I think it's allowed me to stick a pinky toe into the music industry at a larger scale, because it's one thing to do little things here and there. Like I know, like my sophomore year in college, I interned at a small record label out of Detroit that handled a church choir and gospel artists. So I was able to stick a pinky toe back then into the music industry on a smaller scale, and then now being able to open that door a little bit more at a larger scale with Warner Music has been really beneficial, because I'm able to see the inner workings of how things go, like how things actually run, from the radio promotion side to the management side to the digital marketing, to all their different little teams and different positions that I didn't even really know about. Because it's one thing to Google a term, like Google a position, what does an A&R do, or what does a digital marketer do, but it's another to actually hear from somebody who does this on their day-to-day. So it's allowed me to really connect with people who already hold positions in the industry that I maybe one day want to do myself. So a really educational space, just a lot of learning. And what was the other question you said?
How did you like it, or how did you notice yourself growing since taking on this position?
I would say since taking on this position, well, I've never had a remote job like this is. So I never see my coworkers. I never see my bosses in person. And like I said, I'm a people person. So it's kind of like a bummer, because I sometimes, some days, some weeks, I wish I could interact with them in person. But I think having a remote job like this has allowed me to be better at my communication when it comes to reading them emails, responding to them emails, because I'm not gonna see them in office tomorrow. We're relying on this email. So just being swift on communication, because that's all we got when it's remote like this. But it's been nice, and I think I've grown professionally because now I feel like I have more credibility to my name, to be able to walk into spaces and say, okay, I've had experience with Warner Music, where some people may not be able to say that. So it's allowed me to kind of when you get a degree, when you become a medical doctor, you get to put MD at the end of your name. Now I feel like I'm able to say, okay, like I got a little something.
I'm an A&R for real.
Yeah, I got a little something. So I'm grateful to be in the position where I'm at with Warner Music, and for them allowing me to work with them, because I've definitely learned a lot about the industry and about, like you said, how to kind of maneuver and function within it. So yeah,
that's beautiful. And so shout out to Warner U. Thank y'all, because my girl, she be teaching me, so you know what I'm saying. So so you want to be an A&R, right?
Yeah. So I wanted, the way I put it is like the biggest icons and stars you can think of throughout history. It's been one or two people who have been crucial to their success, and I want to be those one or two people that you may not hear their name a lot, but they were crucial to the development of that artist and kind of turning them in from a kid at PV to a household name. Yeah.
And y'all, Chari didn't help me. I'm trying to tell you, she told me get that portfolio ready. What I do, get it ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, and A&Rs, y'all are important. Like, artists, if you don't have one, get you an A&R, and if you don't have one, come to Chari first. You know what I'm saying? book with her. You know what I'm saying? So, what is your favorite thing about being an AR, and what advice can you give artists who maybe don't have one but possibly might need one?
My favorite thing about being in the A&R world would be that I feel like I'm able to mix both of my passions together in one. Like, I first figured out that I even wanted to be in the music industry probably in about 8th grade, when I realized that, during my summers in between school, I was always in performing arts camps or business camps.
Mm-hmm.
And so when everybody asks you when you're a kid, what do you want to do when you get older? What do you want to do when you get older? And there was a point in time where I did not know what to say. Like, I really didn't know. And so that summer between 8th and 9th grade, I was really trying to figure out, like, okay, what could I do? What could I do? And I just kind of mixed those two things together. I'm like, I noticed, okay, I like to sing, I like to dance, I like to watch people singing and dance, but I also love the business aspect. How can I mix the creative side and the business side together? And that's when I first even thought of the idea of, like, okay, let me see what the music industry looks like, or the entertainment industry on the back end, behind the scenes, what that looks like, and what that could be. And that's when I first started to explore it. So I think that's probably my favorite part, is just being able to kind of do both, to be creative but also to work on the functionality and stuff, like behind the scenes business deals, and that, to do both of those things at the same time is probably my favorite thing. And to artists, would you say to artists who don't have
an A&R, what advice would you give them, and how can A&R help them?
Advice I would give to artists without A&R, I would say, if you're trying to do it yourself, I think it is possible. It's just that you have to, like, advocate for yourself at all times. Like, the way I really boil down an A&R or an artist manager is really they should be your right hand man. Like, they should be advocating for you at all times. So if you're choosing to be your own, you can't be hesitant to put yourself on, if that makes sense. So, like, you've got to be thinking of you and your artistry and your career at all times if you don't have somebody else that's going to do it for you. And this is something I learned actually at the Propel program last summer, is that there's so many different types of A&Rs. I remember, again, back in high school, when I'm first looking into this, I thought it was just, an A&R is an A&R. But throughout the Propel program for those 2 weeks, I really learned how there's so many different types of A&Rs. There's A&Rs that are only dedicated to connecting a producer to an artist. Mm-hmm. So if I'm your A&R, my sole job could just be finding the right producers that match your style. And that could be it. And I could just sit in the studio with you and help you create your music with that. So that specific producer. But then you have the other A&Rs who are on more of the legal side and business side, and are making sure the deals are right. And so there's so many different types. But for artists just starting out, I would say that friend who's always at your show, who's first row, that friend who's going to record you anytime at all times, who's going to hold your keys, that's your A&R right there. If they got a little extra free time and they really care and support your growing career, you got one. Don't say you don't got one. You got one.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really cool. Sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place,
okay.
But I think it's really cool being in college too, is because I always say this all the time, which is we have all the resources around us. Like, when it comes to people, like, we have everybody. So, like, even the artists here on campus, I always, like, any artist I run into on campus, I always tell them, like, you have your team is here. You have somebody who can draw your album cover. Go to the digital media art majors, all the animators and the doodlers that have amazing artwork. They can get your artwork tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You got your producers on campus who are producing. You got people who have studios in their dorm.
Yeah.
Okay. You have people like me who are interested in being in the music business and who want to put the work in and help promote your career. You have everybody, like, literally everything you have PR people who just want to write articles and write your bio and make you sound as best as they can to put on your Spotify bio or whatever it is. So it's like everybody here is so talented, no matter your degree. Those who really put the work in and that I see on a regular day-to-day basis, I feel like are so talented. And so when we work together, anything is possible. So I'm rambling, but
no, it's cool.
But yeah, point is, artists, y'all got your A&R. That bestie who be holding the phone up and that go to every one of your shows, that's your A&R. And if you don't got one, find you a friend. And if you want to do it yourself, you can. just advocate for yourself at all times.
Put yourself on.
Yes, put yourself on.
So, and yes, Kari, and even with you mentioning there's so many talented people on campus, y'all, Kari actually, she actually introduced me to the other artists who were a part of the rap cipher that we had here on campus, the 1876 cipher. That was so dope. And Kari actually was the one who, you know, her and Kelsey went ahead and put that together. So what was that process even like in selecting the artists to be a part of that event? How was that working with them? Like, how did you feel when it all came together? Like, what was that whole process like?
Yeah, so yeah, me and Kelsey had came together, trying to think, some months prior, and just talked about the idea and the concept of doing a 1876 cipher. I think something similar was done a few years back, but it hadn't been done in quite some time.
Wow.
And so one of my goals before I graduate from PV is to really elevate the creative space and the music space here, because coming in as a freshman mass comm major who had dreams and aspirations of being in the music business, it kind of got a little I'm gonna be real, it got a little sad sometimes my freshman year, only because we have a great TV studio and we have a lot of professors who have experience or can really touch on the film and TV industry, but not many that can touch on the music industry.
Yeah.
So, you know, freshman year I'm coming in, I got, you know, big dreams, you know, first time on campus. And so to be met with what felt like very limited resources, was kind of like, I was bummed out a lot. And so I remember that summer between freshman and sophomore year, I had multiple conversations with my mother because I was thinking about transferring. I was really just trying to figure out, is PV really where I need to be? Because on the outside, from the outside looking in, it didn't make sense. It didn't look like it. But that's when I realized that, okay, no, I don't think I need to transfer. I need to move. What I need to do is establish something here. And so that's when meeting with Kelsey, even this year, I feel like in my head that was just another block in that, you know, building of elevating the music scene and the creative space here. So with that being said, we got together, we got the audition little flyer made, we did what we needed to do. We directly reached out to some artists that we were interested in, you know, having them be a part of the cipher. We held auditions, the students came through, we chose them. DeAndrea got chose.
Hey.
And we did it, and it should be coming out soon. But it was amazing to see it all come together, and I'm really excited for when it actually is published, like on YouTube and on the social media pages, because I feel like this is really only the beginning. And we want it to be an annual thing, maybe even a homecoming and spring fest thing, like both fall and spring semester, to hold one for the R&B artists, like a soul cipher, and then another one for the rappers. But I really think there's a lot of talented people, not just artists, but just talented creatives here at PV. And I feel like this year, compared to any of the other years I've been here, I feel like this year I've seen the most collaboration and just like content and just work I've seen like been put out. Like shout out to Callie, the CEO, and IC Black Creatives. Shout out to the Influence. These are all new groups on campus who are consistently putting out quality content, whether it's photo shoots, videos, fashion shows,
movies,
events,
films.
Like it's incredible, and I really hope that we just continue to elevate and continue to go up, because the people are here.
Yeah.
That's why I know, and I feel like I may be beating at a dead horse, because I say this all the time, which is like, PV is known for engineering and architecture and nursing, which is amazing. You know, I think we're the best engineering program in the state. Period. So it's like, and that's amazing. And I don't want to downplay that, or like, because that is amazing, and students should come here for that. But also, I want to shed light on the creatives here that we don't get as much shine, like even other HBCUs, because other HBCUs like NCAT or Clark, they're art, you know, they're known for their con programs and their art programs, where here we're not. And so, so by the time that we walk across that stage, you know, we should be leaving the comm department and leaving the creative space in a way better position than it was when we first came in. So that's the goal, and the 1876 cipher was just just a small piece
of that.
in building that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like a piece of the puzzle.
Definitely.
And we gonna end on this note right here. So a lot of people, and I had this conversation a lot too, but it's like a lot of us that came to PV, we were sent here, like literally on assignment. God had something specific for us to come here and do during this time. I don't know what it is about Prairie View A&M University. I don't know what it is about this campus, but I know that God wants to do something extraordinary here. And even how, yes, we have a great engineering program, we have a great nursing program, but we also have a great comm department. We also have a great arts and entertainment pool of people here. So it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen on this campus, man.
Something good.
But let this episode right here be evidence that something amazing and extraordinary is about to be birthed from the people that are here. And I'm not trying to exclude no other generations and those that came before us. Thank y'all, because y'all paved the way. Y'all also set the torch, I would say, or lit the torch for us to be able to have the resources we have here. But just like y'all set that up for us, it's like we come in something heavy for the generations of people that are coming to PV. Like it's giving season of trailblazers. I don't know how to explain it.
I like that.
But I feel what you're saying.
I like that.
And even when you mentioned I See Black Creatives and Callie, Devon too, like they're all about collaboration, and I love that. Even being able to work with them, and both of them have actually been guests on my podcast. To have them pop out and just show love the way that they do, like that's rare, and that's a beautiful thing to have people like that. So anyway, I feel what you're saying, Kari. You're one of them as well, y'all. Kari did such a great job of helping me. You know, I came here, I was new, I was like, yeah, I make music. She's like, okay. But she told me I need a portfolio. She was helping me to get my pages together, giving me ideas for social media. Like that, God will place people in your life, and it could be your peer, you know what I'm saying, to come and help you along the way. So take good care of the people in your life. Build those relationships. Don't be scared. Get out there. Put yourself out there. Network. Figure out ways that you can help support other people as well. That's the whole purpose of this episode right here. Like everything that we talked about was heavy in those matters. And one more thing, Kari. Mm-hmm. So, y'all, me and Kari got a podcast.
We do.
It's called
Unreleased. Hidden Gems
of HBCU.
Okay. I feel like you gotta keep that in there, low
okay. Just leave it. So the podcast started off by an assignment that we had in Professor Clomax's class, but it's actually something that we're gonna continue on because we did a great job with that podcast. And
100%.
Yeah, you know, we put our all into it. Sound quality, crisp, content, crisp. Mm-hmm. Y'all, Kari had to help me do my research because I'm like, okay, what is the gist? What is the moral of the story? Let me just you tell me and I'll go and tell them. But no, I had to learn how to research and make sure I was getting the right information. But anyway, praise God. Yeah, so we got a new podcast coming y'all way. Stay tuned for Unreleased, the hidden gems of the HBCUs.
Yes.
But yeah. Anything else you want to say to the people, Kari? For me?
Let me think. I'm just gonna reiterate what you just said, which was get out there, network, hustle. Don't feel like what you want to do or what you're trying to accomplish is impossible, because it's not. And it may seem like that right now, but like once you put your pinky toe in the dough, it's possible for sure. And even the little things matter too. I say the little things matter because the little things matter. Whether it's how you treating your peers, how you treating your professors or your elders, that little opportunity that seems like, oh, I don't really want to go do that, or I'm not getting paid for that.
Don't be like that.
Don't do that. Do it, because the people who are volunteering at these different events or helping out with this person, helping out this professor, doing these little things that seem like it's not much.
Those are the ones that get the opportunities.
Don't
go in it like, oh, I gotta make money. You need to go in there like, what is it that I need to do? And the money will come to you for real. I've seen it in my real life. That's real.
And I feel like a granny when I say this, but it's like everything is a learning experience.
Yeah.
Like literally, like whether you're getting paid or not, like you said, don't just go in there like, oh, let me just do this. No, what can I learn from this? Mm-hmm. Like, what am I learning about myself or learning about this industry or area, career field by doing this? So Yeah, and if you're going to college, if you're in college right now or thinking about going to college, whatever, or even if you just I don't know, if you're just living, I say live.
Yeah.
Live,
Period. We gonna end with that.
Yeah. Live, man. We only live once. That's what Drake said.
That's
He
the
wasn't
motto.
lying.
YOLO.
He was not lying, y'all. So, man, live to the fullest. Have fun with your family. Have fun with your friends. Figure out what you feel like you set on this earth to do, and do it to the best of your ability.
And trust God everywhere. Every step of the way.
That's the only way that's gonna get you to where you need to be.
Yeah. Well, there y'all have it. Thank you so much, Chari G, for stopping by. Y'all give it up.
Thank you, Deandra.
All right, and y'all stay blessed. Until next time, this has been another episode of Dream on Air with DeAndrea. Y'all stay blessed. Stay out of that mess. Don't be stressed. Everything gonna be all right. We love y'all. Dream on it. Dream on it. Yeah. It's junior year, spring 24th semester, season 3. Dream on Air with DeAndrea feature. Ring on my special guest. Thank you for stopping by the show. I really appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at Content by DeAndrea for all the newest episodes. Make sure you check out all my music too. It's Dream on Air with DeAndrea. Thanks for staying tuned. Woo!